Hello and welcome to another Supreme Commander Soundcast on this map by 3 Protectorates with these players, Okpuck and Thai XI. Okay, so both of these players are top 100 and yeah, Thai XI, he's about rank 20, Okpuck's rank 80, so definitely a little bit of a mismatch, but still I totally expect Okpuck to be able to hold his ground. Yeah, I've had the privilege of playing with Okpuck before in custom games, and one thing to say about him is that he is a crazy nice guy. It's sometimes, I mean, on the internet it's sometimes hard to find crazy nice people, but he genuinely seemed to be that. I don't know much about Thai XI. I've seen him on the cast before. He's a very good player. Yeah, so this map is quite big. It's early expansion's important. We're not going to see too much early aggression just because it's so important to get the engineers out and to get the mass reclaimers out too, because there is a lot of mass on this map that needs to be reclaimed. So just need to get engineers out. Definitely going to be seeing some drops to try and secure the forward situations. Both commanders should definitely be sent forward around about here, maybe for Thai, or here, and similarly for Okpuck, because this map is symmetrical, as so many games are, so many maps are. I guess it's just super hard to make a balanced asymmetrical map, even though those are generally always much more interesting. I'll be interested to see when we do see our first combat unit out. We've already got engineers out reclaiming. It's like a third or fourth engineer for Thai. Is he reclaiming? Okpuck, he's pretty much doing the same thing. We've got land factories being placed down and some air factories, so again, the air rod's going to be important. You want to be able to see what your opponent is doing, and if you can intercept your airplane's transport with some interceptors, that just puts you ahead in a way that's hard to come back from. It's such a devastating blow to lose an early transport, especially if you're trying to just bring engineers to do the thing that they need to do, and then they can't, and then you're on the back foot, and then you're flustered because your opponent's on you, and it's just horrible. It's not good. Don't let your transports get shut down. But, so the air factory is being built by Okpuck. Thai is a little bit behind this air factory, so we'll see if that is gonna matter. We've got some combat units out now. It's about 2 minutes 40. We've got some strikers going on each side with their little land scouts, and we've got some mantises coming out from Thai XI. So both very similarly timed, but these guys are gonna take a while to get where they need to do to do the pew that they do. I heard Eminem can rap. He said something nasty about Trump. I don't know. Maybe I haven't listened to it. I should not try and rap or rhyme. But if these guys would shoot each other, then I would have something to talk about, which isn't rap battles. No, pop culture is not my thing. This is a striker. Okay, so we've got the guys moving out towards each other. We've got interceptor out for Okpuck. I like this a lot. I would definitely prefer to see this interceptor do flybys of Thai's base. Maybe try and get a mini airlock going on. Definitely try and see if there's the air transport coming out to try and kill it. Or maybe Okpuck is just concerned about defending his own air transport when that comes online. I do expect to see air transports. I really do. So yeah, Okpuck likes to do his quad factories around the max, basically just to get the mass bonus, mass deductions. Every little bit counts. I imagine when he gets to upgrading these mass pumps, he will reclaim those factories to put storages around them. I expect that is the thing that's going to happen. Overall, Thai has a slight economic lead at the moment, nothing too significant. I don't like this. For me, this is just lazy. Some bombers can really just wreck your power grid if you build like this, and it doesn't take too much effort to do something different. Maybe Okpuck is viewing this as a temporary structure, temporary situation, because as players do place the T2 power, they tend to reclaim the T1 power, so maybe he feels that it's worth the risk to be vulnerable for a brief period for that to happen, so maybe it's okay. Maybe he has experience of this not going poorly. I do note that it's gone very much out of vogue doing T1 bombers to try and destroy people's power grid. I imagine it's still viable, although it's not done very often at all, not that I've seen at least. Bombers usually always go after engineers, but if you get 2 or 3 bombers on a run, you can really, and the power grids are clumped, you can really do a number on your enemy's power grid. And if you're energy, that can definitely be hard to come back from, but maybe the risk is too great, cost effective wise from the bombers, because bombers are very expensive energy wise as well. But I do like the fact that Okpuck has a nice air core, definitely the air advantage on Tai. Both players are still not very far out on the map. Tai is further out, he's got more mexes, so maybe he's upgrading a mex to T2. That would explain some part of his economy. Well, I guess that's 10 there. Yeah, okay, so it's making more sense. Maybe Tai is energied. Well, that's... can I say that that's sloppy? I feel that's a little bit sloppy. Otherwise, Tai is very much in the economic lead, but he is having some energy issues. But when he gets it sorted out, his mass will shoot up ahead of Okpuck. That's for certain sure. But he does have the power generators coming down, which he needs to do. If you are energied, it's usually very worthwhile to pause your air factory, as he has done. Do we see any T2 mexes coming up? Yes! Yeah, Okpuck is doing it. He's got one T2 mex, another T2 mex coming up. So still no one's shot at each other yet. Eco is quite similar. Okpuck has more interceptors, or he had done, but I guess they're just having a little rest. Very little scouting from Tai. He knows very little. I guess we could say the same about Okpuck, or more so. Okay, some shooting. Okay, excellent. So, oh my goodness, those pew-pews are loud. I always try and keep the volume a little bit, definitely on the soft side, just to make sure that I'm not drowned out by noises. And generally when I play against, I usually keep the volume down pretty low. Okay, so the commander's coming out. He's doing his thing. You might see some T2 engineering suites on the commanders. Otherwise, I don't expect to see a gun. Maybe when the T3 land bots come up, we'll see some overcharges. Oh, this is a stream. So I just decided that he is going to do the spam. Those factories, I think, are probably have rally orders to just here. And a PD would work. That engineer won't do it though. Sound volume. There's going to be a lot of pew pew, I expect. There we go. Okay. So, causing trouble here. I think definitely putting the Okpuck in a little bit off guard. If this land factory, theoretically, I mean not theoretically, it really could be destroyed by this T1 push. And if it's been upgraded to T2 land, I think it'll be alright. But in an alternative universe, this could have gone a lot more poorly. I really wish to put a T1 PD down, but imagine he's got other issues on the side map over here. So yeah, a bunch of T1 spam come from Tai. I don't really know if it didn't really achieve anything. Cost effectiveness, probably not so much. It is definitely positioning him as the aggressor. Okpuck has a huge economic lead, so if Tai doesn't figure that out, he's going to be in some serious trouble. Tai just energied himself, so his economy is fluctuating wildly. So ignore the thing that I just said. The economic situation is quite even. I like the way that Okpuck is doing this. This requires just a bit of extra micro intensity to just try and do this. I know a lot of players don't bother with it just because it's a lot of effort. But I hope Okpuck is able to get this reclaim. Tai should also try and get the reclaim, and he's got engineers all over the map. He's got these bits here. He's got this bit here and this bit here, so that's definitely gonna position him more economically advantageous, having more map control. But in this game, map control ain't everything. Your mass income is. And if you can maintain T3 mexes, then you're in a good position. But Okpuck needs a plan. I don't think it's enough T1 here. What's his plan? He's definitely going to have to think of some combative force. The ACU is... I don't like this. He could very easily get swamped if he's not particularly careful. And I don't think he has much of an exit strategy. He's got a T2 land factory. He hasn't chosen to build anything yet. That's fine. He got T2 P-gens coming down. That's fine. Still the eco. Ty is energizing himself some more. If Ty loses this game, it is going to be so self-inflicted. Really, you shouldn't see players of his caliber energizing himself so much. I'm sorry, Ty, but yeah, mistakes have been made. Okay, Puck definitely having a better of it, arranging his or managing his economy, although he's also struggling for energy as well. What's he building? He's going... Oh, is this a T3 land factory? No, it's just T2 land factory. So still both players T2. I'm thinking that, yep, Russian T3. Basically skipping T2. I'm not surprised by that at all. I wonder if he'll go Titans a little bit first and Percivals. I typically just go straight to Percivals, but I'm a little bit lazy. Titans will definitely trade more effectively against T1. But they don't do well against other T3 land bots much at all. They are a little bit quicker, but Percivals are great because they will protect you. They will not let you down. You can kite T1. They trade slowly against T1. They still kill them. They can kite them. They just trade slowly. They just need a bit of extra time. But what I do like about them is that enough Percivals will... If you've got enough Percivals on the map, you do not have to worry about a Monkey Lord rush. I don't know why he wants so many T1 land factories. Are these going to be interceptors? I would have thought with that kind of investment he might just consider going straight to T3 air, but maybe for power reasons he doesn't want to do that. Oh dear. Criticizing Ty for his economic mismanagement, but Okpuck is sitting on much more mass than he is supposed to. He's probably struggling to spend that. And hopefully he will be able to turn that into things. I would have liked to see this be assisted, and imagine these engineers are going there to assist that land factory to try and get that up. Going T3 here, and they're about almost neck and neck. Although Ty's factory is getting assisted, and Okpuck's getting assisted too. I'd have also liked to have seen more scouting from the players. Oh, here's a plane coming through. Let's have a look at what scouting has been done. Okpuck has almost no scouting of his players' main base, which is just a very dangerous situation to be in, because anything could happen, especially with this situation. A T2 air snipe is very, very feasible, and if it's coming, he would have no clue. So I don't like that at all. And he has enough aeroplanes to really keep the scouting up. So maybe he's got very good spider sensors, and his spider sensors are telling him that a T2 snipe is not incoming, but having a commander so far forward without good intel ahead is so dangerous, especially at this time of the game. And Ty's in a position where he could think about swamping Okpuck's ACU with just T1. He's definitely thinking it's definitely possible. Maybe that's exactly what he's planning to do. I think he's getting a massive T1 here, and he could easily just try and swamp it. He does need more T1 than he has now for that to work, but I think it's on his mind. Of course, it's all his fights going up here. T1 PDs at this stage of the map, of the game, there's so much to control. Your enemy is very often going to take some T1 and just right click on these parts of the map, and when they do that, these T1 PDs will shine. These guys will eat up T1 all day long. So if your enemy is doing that, they will do so well, basically because at this stage of the game, your enemy isn't able to micro nearly as well to mitigate that. But Ty did bring in some Medusas, and he is microing because he is a good player. So a Mexican standoff here. We've got these two control groups, and we have got Percivals coming up first. This is my preference. I do prefer Percivals. One or two Titans might have been a good idea just for the T1, but I'm definitely not going to criticize the thing that I would do. So I like this. These guys in the back making sure there are no major shenanigans, going T3 air, which would be important to keep things alive. I thought he would reclaim this. I definitely thought he would, and maybe he should. Maybe he's forgotten. or maybe he intends to later. So we've got the Percival up here, we've got the Commander, he's got some upgrades, but yeah, walking back because it's a little bit dangerous. The Titan would do well, but he's slow. It takes a while to get the kills, but I think Okpuck is going to be fine here. There's just not enough tier 1. Oh no. It'd be sad to see the Percival die to tier 1. You never want to see that. Hopefully he'll be okay. When you get enough of them, when you have enough Percivals clumped up, there isn't an amount of tier 1 that can really get in there. It's just there physically isn't enough room and they come in too slowly. And they just get kited by the Percivals. But we have a dangerous number of loyalists coming in, and with Okpuck's ACU so far forward, he's definitely vulnerable to any kind of sniper. And Okpuck really should kill these. It's not okay. It's not okay. Even some tier 1 AA, just a few bits on the map, just take out tier 1 air scouts I find to be effective. Maybe a little bit of an expensive solution, but it works. So the interceptors are over the ACU. I don't like it. I don't like the ACU so far forward. For me, this is very, very worrying. Very dangerous. So, Eco, Tai is a little bit ahead. I would say he's a little bit more map control than what Okpuck has. But, well, Tai being so much more highly rated than Okpuck, I think he's doing really well. He's really in this match. He's certainly not out of it yet by any means. Neither player is out of it by any means. Although this Eco discrepancy maintains for much longer, then it will not look well for Puck. Reclaiming. I wonder if that was just because they're on the patrol order, or if that was probably just the patrol order, but it gets the job done. The things people aren't able to micro because there's so many more important things going on, which I should probably be looking at. So the loyalists, of course, are chewing up the tier 1, and at this stage of the game, you really want to consider just stopping tier 1 production completely and put all the mass into your tier 3, which is probably what they're going to be trying to do, but limited by just how quickly you can pump out T3 land. So maybe time to get a few more T3 land factories up and running as we have here, but no build orders set yet. Some T3 engineers, I wonder what their job is. Maybe you don't need 4, but we'll see. Well, he is building 4, so we do know, but if Okpuck doesn't watch out, he's going to be utterly swamped by T3 land. This is what I'll definitely be doing by Tai. Just get all those T3 land factories up and all their T1 interceptors up too. Again, Brooks coming out too. So Percivals are a great unit. This is so dangerous. We're gonna have to see some impeccable use from Overcharge, I think, to see Okpuck get out of this nicely. The Percivals I don't think are gonna do well here. Maybe if he can kite the Percy as well, but the problem is there's not much to be in. He doesn't have enough Percivals. Percivals are just a much better unit than Loyalists in my opinion, and most people's opinion, especially when you can kite them. Loyalists are great because they can like disable big experimentals with a little bomb when they die, the EMP burst, but that's not what's happening here. So I think Tai could definitely have micro this a lot better. Not killing these Percivals, just kind of staying away from them, which is an odd choice because not charging the Percivals is how you lose them. So if you didn't want to take that fight, then I think maybe you should have taken a different fight somewhere else. Okay, Puck's still very happy and content to have his ACU so far forward. Why? I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. For me, that is incredibly dangerous and risky. I'm also a little bit surprised that Tai isn't trying to punish him. Even like a fire beetle drop would do super well here. He does have the T1 interceptors flying around, but if he's not paying attention for a small moment, then those fire beetles could change the game. But Puck is definitely building up a critical mass of Percivals, which is what I'd like to see. I would like to see more T3 land factories, but he's going T3 air. And if Tai isn't, and I don't think he has intentions of doing so, there it is. Tai does have intentions of doing so, and he has already done so. So if there was going to be a T3 air advantage, it's going to be closing very soon. unless he gets a strat bomber out right now and is able to defend it with these ASFs. Not much can be done about it. So the economies are still very tight, almost exactly the same. But the difference will be in the reclaim, and I think Okpuck definitely has a reclaim. I like the fact that he built a factory here that is just going to put out engineers all day long to try and get that reclaim, so I like that a lot. Doobie 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 doobie. Okay, so what's Ty's plan? I think Ty's plan is just to overwhelm with T3 land and maybe keep ecoing as he goes along. I don't expect to see a Monkey Lord. Against Percival's Monkey Lords trade very poorly. It's a little bit too early for a Megalith, I think. For Puck, I think he'll do fine if he just focuses on Percival's. But Percival's versus Loyalists, the Percivals will win. So that's actually a poor plan for Ty. I think he needs a better plan than Loyalists. Maybe if he just focuses on bricks, which he's building bricks now. Is he building bricks exclusively? I am unsure. If he goes for the air advantage, I think that'll do him well, just because he has poorer options as Cybrant versus UEF in T3 land. I'm surprised he still sees so much tier 1. It's definitely time to stop that and focus on upgrading his factories to T3 land and get those out. That being said, especially with the Cybrant play, it's sometimes good to have T1 in, because T1 Mantis can take a Percival shot just as good as anything else, and it's very cost effective if they can take the shots and not anything more expensive. Hey, so the ASFs are having a little bit fight. A little bit confused engagement, I'll say. Okay, Puck choosing not to take it, although I think he's trading better in it. So yeah, let's have a look. Okay, Puck now has 7 ASFs. Okay, that's more than I thought he would have. Whereas Ty has 2. Air advantage to Puck, but is he gonna choose to try and capitalize on it? Of course, if he builds a strat bomber, then that was time that not building ASF, so that kind of gives the opponent the opportunity to catch up, and the ASF lead isn't very high, so I don't really think he will go for strat bombs. I don't think that's a good plan. I think he should rather focus on just making sure his enemy can't do any shenanigans with the air. Whereas Ty might try some air shenanigans just based on the fact that Percivals are so much better than bricks. So okay, yeah, Ty's his economy is all over the place, but I think that's mostly because he hasn't been managing his power super well. But oh geez, if this carries on, okay, Puck doesn't have a chance. You reach a point where the economic discrepancy is so great that you just don't have a chance. And I'm afraid, I think 22 minutes in, that's the situation we're at, unless Puck does something amazing. But Percivals aren't that good, right? Percivals can't bring you out from such an economic discrepancy, but maybe if he's upgrading a lot of mexes, something might come up right, but some economic investment, but you gotta know that Ty's investing into his economy also. What can keep Puck alive is if he's able to kill bricks and reclaim them. That relies on your opponent choosing to trade poorly, and he might choose to. Stealth coming on for Ty's ACU, maybe he just decides to try and keep his ACU a little bit more safer, or maybe he's going to try and do some other shenanigans. We'll have to wait to find out. He has a lot of T1 interceptors and a few ASFs also. This is starting to become a problem. Puck is going to have to muster some forces to deal with this, because he's losing his mexes as well. So let's just put him further behind economically. Oh dear. Well, I'm going to go to +2 to speed this a little bit up. I think Puck has lost this game by now, and we're at the point where we are going to see how he chooses to die. You have a broadsword out. And it'll do a lot of good work, but Ty has air as well, and I don't think Ty is going to suffer okay Puck during this for very long. So we have to see if the air comes in and the archers need to take a fight. Puck has a lot of fighters too, but I think Ty has more. So in this kind of engagement, you want the two interceptors to go in first, and then you want your ASFs to kind of try and ambush his ASS. So both of them held the ASS back a little bit, but Tai held them back more. But I think the biggest problem is that Tai just had more interceptors, and I'm not quite sure there was much Puck could have done to win this fight, although he's doing really well. I hadn't considered the broadswords, because they have some anti-air as well. And I think the anti-air isn't actually that terrible. So the broadswords live. That's pretty cool. I didn't really expect that. He still has one air factory doing some T3 air scouts, so that's going to try and figure out what it is that Okpuck is going to try and kill him with. We've got one factory here just pumping out ASFs. But yeah, I think Tai is just going to be able to build enough ASFs to sort of these broadswords. He has the economy to support it that Puck doesn't have. I'm very glad to see the engineers are right back on the back of this, making sure that he's trying to stay himself in the game. And legitimately, if he is able to do enough reclaiming, especially with his air battlers, he can really stay in the game if he can keep the reclaim. They'll easily make up for any mass difference, but as long as he's consistently able to keep reclaiming. But he's definitely in a bad situation. So he has the air scouts, he flew them over, no doubt they spotted what it was happening. Nothing particularly major or threatening was happening. It wasn't like a nuke or experimental or a bug that he used to worry about. So he's got some Percivals, he's got some broadswords. Well, the broadsword's dead now. I think he's lost all the broadswords, so he's switching straight to ASF production. Hey! Okay, that's interesting. So Puck has realized, I think, this situation he's in, so he's going to rush nuke. So he's probably gonna want to put all his economy into this to try and get this up as quickly as possible. Has Tai scouted it? No. And basically, if Tai doesn't scout this soon enough, he's just fucked. A nuke here will just take out all of his infrastructure, and that'll give Okpuck the position to get back into this game. And if the first nuke takes this out, then the second nuke can probably take that out or that out. He doesn't actually have T3 max as much. Whereas Okpuck does. This could work. This could really work. He just needs to... he just needs Tai to be a little bit docile. So even when you're this far in the lead, you need to... Oh shit. Okay, he's seen it. He's seen it. And I think he easily has enough time to build an anti-nuke if he rushes it, and I think he has the capacity to rush an anti-nuke. So he's either going to try and figure out how to snipe the nuke, or he's going to try and build an anti-nuke, but he hasn't elected to build an anti-nuke yet. So that's interesting. I would have immediately placed an anti-nuke here, but maybe he's going for a more aggressive approach, anticipating being able to kill the nuke before it can launch. We've got the Percivals here. He needs to kite them better. He doesn't have many Percivals and they're precious, so he really should be microing, I think, these a little bit better. So yeah, I should point out that both these players are a lot better than me, so keep that in mind. But it was sad to see those Percivals died there. I didn't feel that that was a strategically important enough location to be dying. Maybe just desperate engineers to come and reclaim things. The broadswords coming in, so he kept them back. Does he have enough ASFs to keep them safe? I think he does. And these will chase the bricks back, so that's great. Do we have an anti-nuke out yet? Anti-nuke. So reclaiming power generators. I'm really surprised he isn't going for an anti-nuke. And he doesn't seem to be going for anything that can take out that nuke either. Has he just not noticed it? Because there was a flyby right on top of it. Did he just not see it? It's not enough to fly your scouts over it, but you have to see it too. So this is great. This is great work from Puck. Figuring out that he was able to achieve air superiority and then take out... He's going to take out bricks for days. And broadswords are pretty good at this, so they won't need too long. Although, I mean, they did some really, really great work here. So yeah, deciding to stay away from the flag, which I like. You can always find out more opportunities to take other fights, especially with the mobile unit such as a broadsword. But and this is so important. He's got engineers in the reclaim fields, so this economic advantage might be very deceptive. just because of the reclaim values. But it's serious. This economic disadvantage is serious, and at this point, Puck, I think, has pretty much all his hopes and dreams on this nuke, and it is still too slow. There's the anti-nuke. He's decided to start it up now, so it's a race. It's definitely a race. I don't know who's going to win it. The anti-nuke does take quicker to build. I think Ty has more support on it. So T1 engineer is minus 6 energy. That's 6 energy. Oh jeez. You're in a very bitter race here, Puck. You can't afford to be pausing that. That being said, there are other nuke options, like over here. It might not be nearly as effective, but it is an alternative option. And then he can nuke there, and then maybe nuke there next. If he's really bold, he might try and nuke the land units, but that's quite difficult to pull off, and it's very, very easy to waste a nuke. If that nuke doesn't cover everything, he might be able to afford some other options, but I think the anti-nuke is going to be up in time, so maybe Tai just was taking his time. Maybe Puck gave up on the nuke or the race. I think he's given up prematurely. It definitely seems to be plucking along. Of course, he doesn't know how much of the race is. So what? So many control gate engineers? Oh my dear lord, what the hell happened here? What happened to the anti-nuke? What happened to the anti-nuke? What? I missed that. Was there a strat bomber I didn't see? Oh my dearie lord. I'm going to have to watch this replay again to figure out what happened to that anti-nuke, because I had no clue. It's I have no idea what happened there at all. I don't think it was a strat bomber, but I'll have to go back and check. He does have the strat bombers out, so they're going to be there to try and take the anti-nuke. So that's why he's not prioritizing the nuke so much, or he wasn't before. But now he's got a clear shot. Whatever did that to that anti-nuke has changed the game dramatically. Because beforehand, even though Puck knew there was an anti-nuke, he wouldn't have known how far along the missile was, or if it was loaded, so he might not have wanted to even take the shot. So going for strat bombs to take out the anti-nuke, it's definitely a viable option. So that nuke is going to be up soon. And all these bricks just waddling in the middle, doing not a lot. I can tell you that much. Ty has done a great job securing the map, but Puck is definitely coming back. I remember back in the good old days when Ty had all this quadrant and all this quadrant, but he's just given it up. And why? And for what? For broadswords? So are we going to see an immediate launch? I think it'd be... Oh my goodness, even though the anti-nuke went down, the missile is still so ready. I'm actually worried that it's going to be ready in time, but... Oh, this is... I think the nuke will be alright, but it's going to be close. The nuke will hit. But tantalizingly close. Kaboomski. And I don't see Ty coming back from this. His economy wasn't 3 mass. So he's done. He has 40 power income. That somehow killed all of his power generators except this one. If he had power, he would still be in this game by a long shot. Hugely he'd still be in this game, but he has no power. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. So that's a lesson to be learned by all. Don't put all of your power generators so clumped together. There was, oh my goodness, that's a worry. So basically Puck just has to kill what's on the map, and he wins. and he has the resources to do it, and the economy to do it. And are you trying, Ty? Okay, this is a mistake. With this amount of economy, this is a mistake too. He needs to build T1 P-Gen. So he started building a T3 P-Gen, realized he had no power, decides to start building a T2 P-Gen. That's still a mistake. He needs to go down to T1. Even T2 is going to take too long. Bless his little heart, Ty's trying, but I don't think he has a chance in hell. He's going to lose everything on the map. Ty's going to get all of this reclaim, and there's more nukes coming. This was absolutely Ty's game to lose. There's no two ways around it. And it was basically because he had all the power in this little clump. I'm definitely gonna watch the replay and figure out what's happened to that anti-nuke. And I put up a little note in the video about what happened to it, but basically it ties all in on these bricks, which is not a good situation to be in. But yeah, Puck just has to avoid these bricks with his ACU, which shouldn't be hard to do. He's already running away. Puck can't possibly know how terribly screwed Ty is. Needed to go T1. A T2 P-Gen's a mistake. You got this little power. Can't go T2. He even needs to turn off his mass extractors because they're drawing power as well. -9, -9. So just his mass extractors will crash his economy. So he actually needs to turn them off. But this game's done and dusted. I did not see that happen. I did not see Puck come back from this. That nuke was MVP. Ty definitely lost this game, but Puck played very well too, that's for sure. I like the way both players just stayed in. Keep the game going. It's the Hail Mary nuke, as this most certainly was, tends not to work. But it did this time, so that was fun. Now we really are just waiting to see how it is Ty's going to choose to die. So this P-Gen, will it even be built? I'm going to go to +4 because this really is just waiting to see how Ty dies. Even -4 is too slow. +6, +7. So Percival's coming in. You might even see another nuke being launched. Ty is hiding in the corner. It's a good sportsmanship from both players. That's always nice to see. The T2 P-Gen's still not... Please no. I'm sad to say Ty, but it is. Well played. Well played to both players. Here come the Percies. That was a GG. That was actually a very fun game to watch. I was lucky with this one. And on that note, if you have replays that you have seen that are fun, that are good, you don't have to be a top-rated player, but if you are interested in having any of your replays cast, do send them to me. My email is in the description. It's indefatigablemoose@gmail.com. So send me your replays and I will most likely cast them. So yeah, thank you for joining me and I hope to see you next time. Okay, bye.